My name is Dakota Frandsen. I was born in a small town. Grew up, fell in love, started a business, and followed a path that would allow me to find my dreams. To you, I may seem like just the average Joe. The only thing odd about me is the fact that I'm almost 7 feet tall. But trust me when I say that my life is very weird. When I was 12 years old, something happened to me. And I got a glimpse into worlds much larger than our own. After I was brought back from the dead, I found out I was an archangel. Just before the angel brought me back, he introduced me to a little girl who may be my daughter from the future. I walk this path to try to understand my story and to help as many as I can along the way. With it, came adventures that are beyond imagination. Some that may even take me to the stars themselves. I'll understand if you don't believe me. Had I not been one to witness it all, I would think that somebody was going insane. Just give me a little bit of time to tell you my story, and you'll see why they call me the specialist of the strange.
Test 1 2, test 1 2. All right. Sorry about that. Just got a new headset that is supposed to help me with audio editing, and I just wanted to test it on here to make sure that all programs are functional, so I can use this in the event I forget to fucking charge my wireless shit. Now, last week, I kind of copped out, I'll admit, and played a segment about Carl Sagan. There is a reason for this, however. As many of you know by now, on what for you would be February 19th, 2021, many of you know I've been working on a new film, Bonds of Beyond, to explore contacting extraterrestrials, maybe even more. Carl Sagan is a prominent figure within mainstream scientific communication that strongly advocated to at least research spiritual and extraterrestrial phenomenon. There's a quote from one of his books, Demon Haunted World, that often gets misquoted throughout social media, in which Sagan says that he believes serious study into past life memories should be done. He directly mentions the notion of small children being able to recall information seemingly from a past life that they should have no idea about. He also mentioned something about looking into the Loch Ness Monster, which, if you actually sit down and read the damn book, he was just using that as another example of clearly something's there. I don't know what, but we may be missing out if we don't try to look into it. I have been trying to find clips I can use of Carl Sagan in Bonds of Beyond to address this. I found some clips that would be good inclusions. However, the fucking license fees cost more than I'm willing to pay. Some of the license fees cost about half of what I paid for my car. And that's the fucking struggle about this type of thing. And I've tried pitching the film to film studios in order to get more funding. However, that seems to be a fruitless pursuit, so I'm having to go other ways. However, that will not deter my stubbornness, in all honesty. Why? Because clearly, with the latest news in UFO phenomenon, clearly, something big is coming, and we need to fucking jump on this. Otherwise, there's going to be even more chaos. No! Fuck, what was I about to say? Sorry about that. I was, just had the idea to double check something in regards to Bonds of Beyond. Doesn't sound like it's going to go through in time, so we may need to go a new route. Oh wait, we already have. Why? I'll tell you why. Because like I said, Bonds of Beyond has actually been picked up by Paraflix. They are extremely interested in the project, and they are strongly connected with some of the bigger paranormal names that can help. Let's see, that can help move our efforts forward and gain a much more appropriate audience with the people that can help us. And I'm not just talking for myself, no. As a lot of you know, I recently joined Parachills and was recently made Chief Marketing Officer. I'm also the director for the cryptozoology department, so we're going to have an episode on that here soon. But anyway, tonight's episode, we're going to go into a little bit more about the UFO disclosure that seems to be going on. Because, oh my fucking god, this shit's moving quickly. It's almost hard to fucking keep up at this rate. But We need to discuss this because not too long ago, a gentleman has actually come forward looking for witnesses to corroborate his experience, which honestly sounds like this bastard may have actually dodged a fucking abduction. Yes, an individual by the name of Paul Frogert, I believe it's pronounced. If by any chance he happens to be a listener, I am so terribly sorry. I'm just trying to pull it up right now, but this gentleman in question claims that while he was riding his bike on his way home from work, he was followed by mysterious objects. He took pictures, which understandably don't look like anything unusual other than maybe a hydrogen balloon. However, it is not the freaky object in the sky that concerns him. It's the humanoid fucking praying mantis that came out of nowhere. Now do I have your attention? It is definitely interesting. Yes, this gentleman was biking through a wooded area in Warwick, in England. Claims that a 7-foot-tall telepathic alien mantis being came out of nowhere. He describes the ordeal kind of like the sense of horror that BBC documentaries set up for a spider eating a fly, where Sir David Attenborough describes the ordeal, and oh my god, this is a horrible impression. Anyway, now I presented this case to my colleagues at Parachills. Naturally, they had their skepticism, but I don't know. Something isn't singing right. And considering these guys also have an alleged Slender Man encounter that follows a lot of the same descriptors, woodland area usually have all sorts of little critters running about. Suddenly empty, like it's some sort of apocalypse or something has happened in the area to scare the animals away, and a big alien looking thing comes out of nowhere. Now, the Slender Man himself was made in 2009 by a gentleman of Eric Knudsen, who utilized a lot of inspiration from Stephen King works. So I'm skeptical of the Slender Man encounter simply because of the word's description and the fact that the witnesses have admitted to smoking marijuana beforehand. I am not kiboshing it completely, but even the members of Parachills for the Mantis humanoid described the individual, Mr. Frogert. Anyway, I know I sound like I'm making fun of him, and I apologize about that. But they also try to point out something, that a lot of alien abductions seem to center around people who are mentally ill. To which, while I understand their point and I respect their views on the matter. By the way, we are recruiting, so if any of you want to join the loony bin, come. Use the link in my description to find the link to Parachills. Check it out. And if you're interested, we're looking for new members. I'll talk about that more later. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked here. Aliens. Get back to the aliens. Oh. In regards to people trying to disregard certain witnesses as signs of mental illness, to which this is my remark. Name me one fucking individual in this field, whether it is ghosts, UFOs, cold cases, missing persons, everything that my friends at Parachills stand for and want to look into. Everything, every bit of one of those. Name me one fucking individual who wouldn't qualify for some sort of mental illness by today's standards. I'm not saying that to judge people. I really am not, because I know damn well I fit in that demographic. So, in case the mantis humanoid spotter hears this, please do reach out. I want to hear your story. And maybe, just maybe, if you're interested, I'll show you how to prove that you're not crazy. But trust me when I say, you're just about a year older than me, so a little over a year older from what I've been able to find on you. So there's a good chance you might be familiar with the Men in Black movies. Trust me when I say that when you go behind that curtain and see what's really out there, you're going to be confused as motherfucking Will Smith in that movie. But there's also another thing you should hear. It's a quote from that movie from Tommy Lee Jones' character, Agent K. The person is smart, but people are dumb. Remember that moving forward. Trust me, I get it. I know what it's like to get made fun of because you like to deal with this, because you've dealt with something like this. I ain't judging you, man. You come find me, I'll share you a few of my own unbelievable stories. Or just listen to some more of the episodes of this show. But don't any of you listening right now dare go anywhere, because we're going to be right back. And we're going to dig into some of the recent UFO news. Because shit's getting weird. So what in the hell is going on with all this UFO news? We have, aside from the mantis humanoid, we have the pilot in Pakistan who spotted a UFO upon landing that may have been debunked as a possible cloud. We have the COVID-19 bill that states a countdown, roughly a 6-month countdown timer for all U.S. federal agencies to disclose any and all information they have on UFOs. In response to that, we have the CIA dumping a bunch of UFO files that even state some weird shit. That they fully admitted that there are several incidents that they believe were connected to UFO phenomenon that they covered up. So what the hell is going on with all of this? Information was already out there in the federal vault, FBI vault, stating that UFOs, aliens, extraterrestrials were real. The governments were already admitting that, yeah, we know about it, we've been studying it, it's real, it's out there. This is what we know so far, and it's only going to get a lot weirder. Several conspiracy circles have claimed that there's a grand disclosure movement in place that slowly but surely Governments of the world are collaborating with extraterrestrial civilizations to reveal to the public that we are not alone in the universe. But if anybody actually sits down and reads even just a few of those documents, the implications of what they state mean that these extraterrestrials aren't coming from other planets, like, say, little green men coming from Mars. They are traversing a possible multiverse in order to get here. We're coming up in unprecedented times. So much so that there is allegedly a plot to stage a global faked alien invasion. It's hard to say exactly what's going on. But what are some of the implications of this? A lot of the extraterrestrials state that they are willing to help us in deal with sickness, in deal with climate change, maybe even give us the formula for immortality. However, they are concerned about our actions, concerned about our tendencies to turn violent in this world. And for several years, according to several major events, such as the Verlon broadcast stating the Ashtar command, even several alleged psychics connecting with extraterrestrial beings, they're all saying that yes, they're here, yes, they want to help us, but they're scared of what may happen if they give us too much too soon. So is there any truth to this? I'll admit, some of these concepts just seem completely out there. But one thing to remember throughout all of this is that many of the greatest minds to have lived on this earth have at least entertained the possibility of life outside Earth, even life after death. Those of you who've been following me for a while know that I'm putting together a documentary movie that is going to be hosted on Paraflix, in which I go into greater detail about this phenomenon, the connections, and the overlaps. And this is not a new subject that I have covered. This is more one of a renewed interest. Because honestly, even if the Verlon broadcast was completely hoaxed, even if all the psychics out there who claim they have been in contact with extraterrestrials are full of shit, the message that's coming across isn't wrong. And we don't even have to look far back into human history. We can just go within the events of the last few years. BLM protests, coronavirus, conspiracies going about through vaccinations, complete and utter rebellion against authority figures just for the sake of having something to fight against. Just because we are inconvenienced of the news. Don't get me wrong. BLM protests? Yeah. There's shit going on that shouldn't be happening. There's going to be some of you assholes out here who aren't going to listen to the entire broadcast who think I'm prejudiced against people of color. Which, fuck you. You're the problem. I'll admit, there have probably been points in my life where I have done some less than favorable actions. Not just against people of color, but where, in my eyes, I may have just taken a joke a little too far. I'm admitting that I am not perfect. Those who have stepped up and said, hey, Dakota, you kind of crossed the line, I made amends. And those who have stuck by me the longest in this life can vouch that has said to me that they've noticed quite an improvement. So that's what I choose to focus on. But it doesn't erase the fact that what the aliens are saying, if this information is true, if the encounters, the contacts is true, what the message that is coming across still rings true to this day, perhaps even more so. In fact, the underlying problem for these political movements within the last few years has been an over-reliance on tribalism. The human mind has actually been noted to be shrinking. On average, the average human mind is shrinking because we have an over-reliance on social interactions to acquire information, to rise up against potential threats. It's how the human race has managed to survive all this time. We came together as a pack animal. We are a social creature, which is what is causing a lot of trauma responses thanks to COVID-19 lockdowns. We are in times of great conflict, and there are forces out there trying to take advantage of the chaos. Yes, this is true. Yes, these things have been around for so much longer. Yes, BLM is technically a terrorist movement, as is Antifa, as is the Capitol rioters from January 6th. Technically, for fuck's sake, women's suffrage movement on a global scale was considered a terrorist movement because bitches be throwing axes at politicians. And we have become so reliant on instilling fear into others in order to get what we want. We have become terrorists in ourselves. One of the very first documents of the UFO files within the FBI vault states that a majority of the extraterrestrials that have been making contact with us have no intention of hurting us. They want to help us. However, the reason why they haven't come forward en masse yet is because they don't trust us. This mention of the Galactic Federation, which admittingly sounds like a concept out of fucking Star Trek. And there's even situations where people claim tachyons are a source of extraterrestrial energies, the source of their technologies, how they're able to communicate through vast distances in space, even heal the human body. There's so much information out there that, quite frankly, the situation is becoming comparable to trying to raise kids. And we're going to take a quick commercial break. And then I'm going to talk about it a bit more, okay? Because you're going to want to hear me out on this one. Welcome back. I'll admit that this episode is taking a bit more of a philosophical turn, but right now, this is the part that we need to focus on. We live in a society where religion, communities, even the actions of our parents we put fear into blanket statements about individuals and groups which do not fit within our own context. We cannot accept new ideas, philosophies, and innovations that go against what our beliefs are, because we're taught that our beliefs are the center of everything. We are taught that we need to go out into the world being afraid of what can happen, being afraid of someone who looks different. We have to teach girls to be afraid of certain guys, to be on the lookout for even individuals that they are supposed to trust. We have to teach kids to be wary of strangers. The arguments about individuals trying to utilize transgender arguments in order to access younger kids in public restrooms are valid. It's happened. Sex trafficking happens, goes under the radar. And there are individuals right now that are taking advantage and laughing their asses off for how fucking easy it is for us as a society to get utterly confused and turn our guns against one another when we need to stand together more than ever. Sorry, I thought I heard somebody. The CIA has admitted to paying off journalists to cover up stories. Police will corner journalists to cover up certain stories. I can tell you of a couple of incidents right now. Local police make active efforts to keep news organizations away from potential suicide jumpers. Local police agencies have had to threaten news agencies to shoot news reporters who had tried to film medics trying to pull out the dead bodies of children. And there's another thing. We have so many individuals here who are willing to sacrifice and destroy others in order to get to the top. And that's been the system that works. We live in a society that promotes fear. Tribalism has been a part of our DNA since before we were even considered Homo sapiens. Oh, that goes against my belief in God. No, it fucking doesn't if you truly do think about it. There's shit we don't know. And coming soon. By 2025, if the conspiracies turn out to even be more correct, the extraterrestrials are going to come out en masse, and the world is going to change in ways beyond our wildest imaginations. I'm going to take a couple reports here that my friends and I in Parachills have cataloged. It's that mantis humanoid, as well as a Slenderman-like being. Now, because no mentions of UFOs came up for the for the Chicago Slender Man, it was listed on the Department of Cryptids. And honestly, it fits under the same criteria as a potential abduction. The mantis. There have been mantis-like extraterrestrials claimed to be spotted by abductees. And we base a lot of the judgments on whether or not certain things are possible based on such a small fraction of what we understand in the world. What's possible out in outer space, we're basing it on what we know to be possible here on Earth. Yet here on Earth, we have so many different life forms with so many different functions. We can have so much diversity here on Earth. Why does that limit us in just trying to find out what else is out there in the universe? That's the issue. We have become prejudiced in just about every aspect of our lives. And it's choking us out. It's limiting our truest potential as a species to help one another. I'm going to be honest, there's an individual who I've been trying to train for a while now who can't seem to get past the idea that there's going to be certain things that are going to go against his religion. And he has done nothing but argue with me on it. When yet, so much about what we know about religious texts today has changed so much over time. We think we know everything, and we don't. Not even God knows everything. Oh, no, but God is all-seeing, all-knowing. Have you actually been able to talk? I've had one-on-ones with a fucking archangel. And even they admit that some of the things that happen here on Earth surprises them. And for what's coming next, they might as well be sitting around eating popcorn. And I want to extend this kind of conversation into cryptozoology. Try to break down these philosophies a bit more when we get to our next episode. So be sure to tune in next week. I'm going to discuss cryptozoological studies as sort of a back-ended excuse to try to dig up more resources to better equip cryptozoological studies within parachills. I said it. Yeah, I did. Yeah, no, I did. So what? I don't care. So I'm going to go ahead and get going. But remember everything I said. The UFO disclosure, we got to stop ignoring it. We got to stop treating it like it's a fucking joke, because something's coming that is going to change everything we know about the cosmos. So just remember that. Be kind to one another. Stay safe out there. Yeah, I know I'm a little stuffy. My fucking allergies are acting up right now. No, I don't have COVID, so back off with the pitchfork and torches. God damn you! And I'll see you next time.